Good evening. Welcome. And happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day 2021. Can you believe it? Did you think after a year of a global pandemic and political uprising that you would make it to another day where we just get to celebrate love and a sense of being together? A sense of romance. Now, if you're like me, you've spent the whole day today swiping interminably through dating sites, being disappointed by yourself and every poorly written profile that you see. Hinge, Bumble, Tinder for the plenty of fish, all of them. Well, how about you take a break? Quit looking. Fuck them. Because you know what? You have to learn to love yourself first. Because truly, if you do not love yourself, how can you expect anybody to love you? It took me a while to gain this perspective on life. I may be single deep into my 30s. I may have spent the last 365 days with no one but my cats. But that doesn't mean that romance is dead. And you know who taught me that? I have one person to thank. Miss Jane Seymour. Now, in her guide to romantic living, she relates to us that you must find inner love first before you can hope to find anything else. I thought this Valentine's Day, given this perspective that Jane has given me, that I would share some of her wisdom with you. So let's dive in to Jane Seymour's Guide to Romantic Living. Chapter 1, The Romantic Attitude. I hope this book will change your life. I'm going to tell you how to live life romantically, how to get the most out of every moment. I want you to realize, as I did, that you can be the person you wish to be. I want you to see your dream person and to become that person. Your dream person needn't remain a fragment of your imagination. You can walk right into your dreams and come out a new person. Of course, it's risky. Any kind of change is risky, but if you're going to get the most out of your life, you must grasp its pleasures along the way. You must be receptive. Tonight, I've chosen to be receptive to a personal gift to myself. This is the Steel Reserve Alloy series. Intriguing, masculine. There's a bit of romantic mystery to it, if I do say so myself. This is the spiked strawberry burst flavor. Let's see how this goes down. Delightfully smooth. Let's continue. I realize now that I have children of my own that I was taught all of this in childhood. Above the mantelpiece in my parents' house in England, there is still a picture of me and my two sisters, 3 girls dressed as ballerinas wearing blue headbands with our hair piled up in buns. Our faces are graceful, our necks long, our posture perfect. At the time of the portrait, we were in fact just 3 quite pretty girls of 6, 7, and 8 with normal plumpness. But the idealized portrait caught hold of my imagination. I wanted to be that person. All my life I have done this. Seen an image in my mind and tried to create it, to bring it alive. Perhaps the image in your mind is of you and a hazily pictured lover walking on the beach. He stoops to kiss you as the waves crash in. My point is, make it happen. But don't make it happen with a dream lover. Turn your husband your long-term boyfriend, or the man you've just started dating into that lover. Make a dream out of everyday reality, then make reality out of a dream. That's what my parents taught me to do. And in comes a point. Have our parents taught us to love ourselves enough? I'd like to include a little visual accompaniment to Miss Seymour. Now, the lessons in this book are many. But the main part, moral, if you will, that I wish to impart in my reading tonight is that you must keep romance alive within yourself, remember. That brings us to chapter 3, bringing romance to everyday life. The dictionary tells us that a romance is a tale with scenes and incidents remote from everyday life. But romance needn't be remote. It can be part of everyday life. Today is Valentine's Day, and it is a special day, but don't be afraid to go to the grocery store and buy yourself 3 or 4 pounds of chocolate and eat it all yourself that night. It's called treating yourself. It's called self-care, and it's important. Today, I bought myself a rose, $4.99. A steal of a deal for a bit of romance, wouldn't you say? And also treated myself to a little Lindor chocolate assortment. Decadence and a delight for myself, from myself. Isn't that how we should all be living? Let's see what Jane has to say. It's easy to become so weighted down by work and worry that you cease to notice the marvels all around you. Some years ago, I was playing Ophelia up in the north of England and staying in awful digs miles away from my family and friends. I was very depressed, very hemmed in by the bad weather and the gloomy city. We all know how that is, Pacific Northwesterners. Then someone suggested that a group of us go for a drive. We piled into the car, and it wasn't long before we found ourselves on the most beautiful moors, covered with mist, like a scene from Macbeth. We were 10 feet apart, and yet we couldn't see each other. We kept appearing and disappearing through the mist. How playful of you, Jane. The atmosphere was very strange, very romantic, very beautiful. And those moors, the Yorkshire moors, had been there all the time, just a short distance away from the town where we were complaining so much. That is the point. The extraordinary is always there. Always. Waiting just around the corner. Only a car ride away. All you have to do is break the pattern of depression or gloom, stifling ordinariness, to find it. If you're fed up, look at a map and find the nearest green space. It might be the site of a ruined castle. It might be covered in bluebells. You might arrive there just as a storm breaks out and you can sit in the car as the rain batters against the windows and reminds you how close you are all the time to the rain and the lightning and the sea and all the things that make life splendid. Anything might happen. And yes, I do encourage you, dear viewers, to take Miss Seymour's suggestion and find that nearest patch of green. Chase it. Chase it with fervor. I did so not too long ago when I left my home of Alaska here to the land of milk and honey. Oh, look, here's one of my Valentine compatriots now. Come, Lily. Oh, yes. It's important not only to live romantically for ourselves, but our loved ones. Jane's lessons, well, they found me at a vulnerable time. But vulnerability is what I needed to let those lessons take hold, to let them in, to penetrate my daily thinking. And it got me reflecting on, what type of partner do I really want? Who am I looking for? Who's the jigsaw piece to fit my empty crevasses, as it were? And then I read the next chapter, and well, how can a man settle for anything less than this? Chapter 5, Strong and Feminine, the Romantic Woman. This is not just a book about how to find and keep the love of your life. It's about how to be a romantic person. Once you are that person, I believe that what you want most in life will be yours. And if what you want is the person who will be the love of your life, I have no doubt that you'll find him or her. If you want it, you'll get it. It's that simple. What are we all doing? Jane. Men, as much as women, should try to find their romantic selves. That's what I've been saying. The idea of chivalry is not just a matter of men opening doors for women and thereby charming them. It's not that easy. More than just a door and flowers. When it flourished in the 14th and 15th centuries, it was based on a certain code of values, in particular the idea of honor and respect for the femininity of women and the vulnerability of children. This notion of respect matters a great deal. If you're to live a romantic, happy life, you must respect others. You are on this planet with other people. We live in a society. Sharing it with other people, and you must treat them well. You must listen to them, care for them, try to understand them, and they will do the same for you. The smile that you send out returns to you. Thank you, director, for adjusting the shot. What I'm saying in this book, what Jane is saying, combines the two meanings of the word romance. Romance as in romantic, the ambitious, striving, self-based philosophy of the great 19th century writers, and romance as in the more conventional sense of starting a family. This combination is also a fusion of the two great strands in a 20th century woman's life. The romantic philosophy of feminism having to do with the finding your individual self and developing it, and the older, more traditional and often insistent need for love and beauty, and a family without which many women feel their lives negated. Do not be this woman. You can have both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can be successful in your career, and you can be feminine, maternal, and loving. But to do so, you must respect romance. Respect it. Oops. respect it. You must not move lock, stock, and barrel into the gray male world of offices and telephones, because if you do so, you are in danger of forfeiting that there is in you that is essentially feminine. Phones aren't feminine. That's not true. Use whatever phone you like. Kind of suspect, Jane. If you are a woman, why not use feminine wiles sometimes? Why not dress your talents in charm? Charm will open more doors than knocking them on the head will. Don't be afraid of dressing to suit your own tastes, and don't be afraid of flirting in the workplace. Jane, don't think that men won't treat you seriously if you flirt. They must learn that women must be true to their own natures. That is the next revolution. That is the romantic revolution I'm searching for. Here's another visual aid. Can you see that? Okay. Guess we'll continue on this chapter. Flirting is a way of bringing someone close to you, of sharing a mood. It is a harmless, delightful game two people can play. And by learning to flirt, you can create romantic moments wherever you are. Flirting isn't just sexual behavior, okay? It's part of a sensual and emotional way of behaving toward other people that flatters and interests them. It's the way you look at a man across the table, listen to him, and make him smile and laugh. It's a way of reminding him that all is not dull and standardized and unisex yet. Fluttering your eyelashes isn't good flirting. Listening with intelligence and interest is the way that romantic 20th century women flirt. Of course, flirting has to be handled with care. Inspired by the example of Scarlett O'Hara, I used to test my ability to flirt, and once on holiday with some friends, I flirted with my best friend's boyfriend. Oh, Jane! You scamp. I learned the power I had. She never quite forgave me. And to this day, I am not so proud of that action. It seems there's some disruption in the audience. Ooh, again, spiked strawberry burst. 8%. It's value. Excuse them. It took me a long time to have the confidence to my feminine self to be both strong and feminine. To be each was easy, to combine them was the problem. It was only when I came to terms with who I really was that I found a happy, stable marriage. For me, as for so many, it was hard to combine the two meanings of the word romantic, the search for self and the sharing. It was only when I found myself that I could share. There is a lesson here, I think, for all women who want to be strong and feminine. Learn from my mistakes. First of all, learn to be your own person. There you go, Jane. Learn to be alone sometimes. Build up your strong romantic self. Then you will have the strength to cope with all the demands of marriage and children, as well as all the other demands of being a woman in the 20th century. Excuse me. Of being expected to have a career, or a job, or at least some impressive talents. It's something. That one got a little dicey. But sure. So, in our search, love yourself first, and then we attract what we put out. Let's say that. Let's say that's what she was saying. We attract what we put. That's good. That's a good spin on it. So we attract what we put out. So finally, when we've met that jigsaw piece, that other one, and maybe some of you lucky folks out there, you already did this whole thing. You're married. Some of you maybe even married multiple times. You've done it 2 or 3 times. I'd like to do it once maybe before I die, and 2 or 3 times. Anyways, once you find them, you might have trouble juggling romance in the busy life, which is the subject of chapter 8. Most women have many roles to play. Worker, mother, wife, hostess. And now, as if you're not exhausted enough by all these, here I come adding to the list and asking you to be romantic too. Look, Jane gets it. Jane knows it's not easy. Jane knows you have to work at this. She's talking to you. But without this romantic quality, all the other roles are just a list. It is this quality that makes sense of them all. In the search for success, we shouldn't lose happiness, a flair for living, and a delight in our surroundings, in each other. Delight in each other. That's what I've been saying. What is the point of trying to become a superwoman if in the process we lose our souls? Let's rewind that tape. Let's read it again. What is the point of trying to become a superwoman if in the process we lose our souls? That's devil talk. That's devil went down to Georgia. What are you going to do with the gold fiddle if you lose the competition? The devil has your soul. What are you going to do? Let's see if Jane knows. If you try to do too much, to juggle too many things at once, there's always the danger that you will drop the lot. But I prefer to live dangerously. I'm sure you do, Jane. It keeps me excited about life. And there's nothing less romantic than someone who is bored. Ooh, that stings. Don't ever say you're bored in front of somebody that you're trying to bang again. It keeps me excited about life, and there is nothing less romantic than somebody who's bored. So get out there, learn a skill, learn a language, get a hobby, but make sure it's romantic. Even the disasters are funny in retrospect. I used to take my first child, Katie, on location with me. And here's Jane and Katie. Oh, there you go. Oh, precious. You could be like that if you just started fucking living romantically. Even the disasters are funny in retrospect. I used to take my first child, Katie, on location with me, and my husband would come to wherever we were every 10 days or 2 weeks. And stay for a long weekend and dash back. It was hectic. The first film I did was when Katie was 3 months old. I decided I was going to be super mom. I had to stop breastfeeding because of the film, and our pediatrician told me Katie must have a particular brand of soy formula milk. The special tins were, so I thought, brilliantly organized in strong trunks for the plane flight. At the Los Angeles airport, the baggage collapsed. The trunks just fell open, spilling tons of diapers and formula tins all over everywhere. I had to ditch them all, grab the baby and the new nanny, whom I'd known for only 2 days, and catch the flight for Hungary, where I was filming. In Hungary, they had none of the necessities I'd left behind. They had wonderful goulash, but you can't feed a 3-month-old baby goulash. Hungary doesn't have baby food, like in the whole place? What? You might be able to feed it. I don't know. Why you gotta bring goulash into it, Jane? You can't aim for the skies. Try to do everything and not occasionally fail. Failure doesn't matter. It's trying that matters. Let's rewind that one. Failure doesn't matter. It's trying that matters. Write it down in your notes, your iPhone. For me, romance is part of my work. Word up, Jane. Part of my life. And it's something I want to pass on to my children. I don't want to be just a juggler. Who wants to be just a juggler? Juggler's an accessory talent. Any more than you do. I want to have a certain beauty in my life. To have a sense of the past as well as to have hopes for the future. My priorities have always been my husband, my children, and then my work. We decided that a long time ago. We decided that. I saw friends of mine who were happily married and then had children, but were so obsessed with the children that they completely forgot their husbands. They just forgot they had husbands. They were concentrating on these kids so much, and ended up divorced and wondering what single parenting was all about. For the sake of children, apart from any other considerations, I believe a husband should come first. Husband over kids. Fuck the kids, right? They can do whatever. Fucking play their Nintendo. What greater gift can you give to a child than a happy and stable family background? What better gift can you give your kids than for you to have a successful love life? Probably, good school clothes. It might seem to the best of them if you spend all of your time and attention on them rather than your husband, but in the long run, it jeopardizes your marriage. 1986 trademark on this book. Jane. There's another visual representation for you. Axe napping. So, in conclusion, for tonight's reading, I guess, well, you found, apparently, somebody you've been able to make a series of sad compromises with to maintain some semblance of happiness. So I guess what you want to do... yes. You've had the dream. Your dream person is there. You've become the dream person, stepped into your dream skin. And the next step is holding the dream. Romantic marriage. It's time to get married, folks. You love yourself now. And you've got to... Now you love someone else. Ostensibly, they love themselves. So there's a lot of love going on. So now it's ready to get married. It's the end of the story. It's marriage. Game over. As far as I know. Chapter 7. It should be only in a romantic novel that marriage marks the end of romance. Marriage should be the beginning of a richer, deeper romance based on shared moments, shared memories, shared family. On listening, flirting, paying attention to his feelings as well as his words, don't behave like a wife, Behave like a mistress. We'll be right back. Intermission. Okay, we're back. Behave like a mistress. Nevertheless, a wedding should be something special. Find some way to make the wedding service your own. Perhaps include a favorite poem or a piece of prose. And certainly choose your favorite hymns. Certainly. Make it mean something to both of you. Perhaps you could borrow from another culture. It's called appropriation, Jane. We're not so into that anymore. Borrow from another culture. Maybe if you're getting married to somebody from that culture. After Greek Orthodox marriages, they dance in the street. And Yugoslavian weddings include stealing the bride's shoes and auctioning them. The money... Wait. Yugoslavian weddings include stealing the bride's shoes and auctioning them. Yeah, that sounds fun. The money goes to the newly wedded couple. Or you could do what friends of ours did. They let off thousands of helium balloons at the end of their wedding service as an offering to the sky. Those balloons don't stay in the sky. They fall down after they pop in the atmosphere. As I said earlier, my second husband, Jeep, can you, GEEP. We have a GIF situation going on here. By the way, if you pronounce GIF, GIF, there's no hope for you. As I said earlier, my second husband, Geep, and I decided to get married on the spur of the moment. We had no money for wedding clothes, but we wanted it to be special. I was filming The Full Feathers at the time, and the costumes were magnificent. Wouldn't it be wonderful, I thought, to be married in full Edwardian regalia, both of us, and our whole wedding party? Don't you guys want to dress up in regalia? You're married. The film company kindly agreed and lent us the costumes for our special day. It sounds fun. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like a good time. Then we were faced with the problem of where to celebrate after the ceremony. Again, we couldn't really afford a traditional formal reception, so because it was summer, we decided to have it out in the street. It happened to be the Queen's Silver Jubilee, and everyone was having street parties. So we had our excuse. We invited everyone on the street and asked them all to bring food. They invited friends who they brought their food, and all of our friends and families also brought food. And everyone brought food. And presto, we had a small festival on our hands. There you go. You don't need to have a $10,000, $20,000, $500,000 influencer wedding. Just make strangers bring food and have a potluck with strangers. And dance in the street. What more could you want from a wedding? Quit asking for more. You don't need it. But then she put this picture in there. I had a humble, no-nonsense wedding. And then I dressed like this. Anyways, let's get to the end. Conclusion. Romantic conclusion. I fucking have a chocolate yet. Oh, these are just the plain Lindors? Not even a variety? The fuck? Conclusion. It's hard to convey feelings, especially to write about them for an unknown audience or read it to whoever the fuck is watching my TikTok. While I've been writing this book, Jane, however, I'm trying to communicate many of those feelings and beliefs that I hold most important. Many interesting things have happened. My husband asks incessantly when I will finish the book so that we can continue to live the romantic life that I've been taking time away from the write about. I'm trying to write about living romantically. You know, I'm sorry I don't got time to live romantically. I'm trying to write a book about it. Jeep. Fuck ever. So he's asking incessantly. My friends have helped enormously. They've all read the book. As I've gone along, and to my surprise, they've loved it. I thought they were going to hate it. I thought this book was shit. They love it. They recognize that they could follow their dreams themselves, and in playing out some of their romantic fantasies, have invited us to join in. Whoa, wait, what? They recognize that they could follow their dreams themselves, and in playing out some of their romantic fantasies, have invited us to join in. Joining in some romantic fantasy. Well, you can get that. I'll give you my 3-way handle, right? Some of them have suddenly, their spouses tell me, taken to inviting their husbands or wives to business lunches. Bring your wife to the business lunch? Bringing your husband to the business lunch? Amateur move. Come on, Jane, you just told us in the earlier chapter you have to be able to flirt in the workplace, right? Are you supposed to do that if you bring Bull and Jane to the business lunch? You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't flirt. If you're married, don't. Come on. Sending surprises at odd times and buying crazy hideaway houses in obscure but romantic locales. Kidnapping is now prevalent among my friends, and they are all sharing their ideas and successful outings with David and me. Kidnapping. Taking you to lunch. It's a pretty low bar, Jane. I've received great pleasure in writing this book, if for no other reason than that it has allowed me to share my greatest gifts in life. The people who brought me into this world, and those who have loved me and live with me. The people who I love. The people I love. I thank all of you, readers and friends and viewers, for sharing in this quest of the romantic lifestyle. And I hope you will develop your own romantic style to share with generations to come. So anyways, thanks for joining me tonight. Happy Valentine's Day 2021. Here's to one more around the sun. I love you. Three shouts for Dr. Quinn.